Hey everybody, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. My name is Nicole and I'm a recovering addict. My sobriety date is July 13th of 2015. And tonight is our third day of recovery week. And tonight we have Nicole coming to share her story with us. So, let me send her the link. Okay, there we go. Hold on, guys. Okie dokie. So, hey, Sonia. Thanks, girl. All right. So, I pay for StreamYard so I can have this to stream with. And it's a really great service, but I just wasn't utilizing like all the things. Like I can even set up a green screen and have like something behind me that looks different. I just haven't ever really utilized all of it. So I thought, what the hell? Why don't I just go ahead and try out? And so now I got the little banner that goes across the bottom. I thought that was pretty cool and all that good stuff. So let me go ahead and share this. If you guys don't mind, take a second, share this video out for me. If you're a part of any recovering behind me that looks different, I just haven't that's me talking. Really utilized all of it. So there we go. What the hell? If you're a part of any recovery groups and you can share this to those recovery groups, that would be awesome. So yeah, let me do the same thing. Hold on just a second, guys, because I want to make sure that I get it shared out. How's everybody's day going today? I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I've been struggling for about a week now, just feeling, I don't know what's going on. I'm having a hard time, but I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I am always okay. I always make it out of my funks, so I should be okay. I just got to get in shape and start feeling better about myself, and I don't even know if that's really what the problem is. I'm having depression problems, you guys. Hey, Nicole. Okay, girl, come on when you're ready. I'm ready for you. It's just been a hard day and a hard year. Like the more that we have to stay inside and all this coronavirus bullshit, it really is dragging me down. It's really cramping my vibe, y'all. It's cramping my vibe. Okay, hold on. But it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. I know it'll all work out. It always does. Hey, Barb. Hey, Mama. Hey, Sky. Hey, Misty. Hey, Cam. A lot of you called me and texted me today and checked on me, and I really appreciate it, you guys. There's nothing wrong. Like, I have a job. I'm able to provide for my family. My husband has a job. There's nothing wrong. Like money's good. I'm not struggling with like finances or anything like that. It's just like an overall, like, I'm just having a hard time. And I'm trying not to let it. I'm having a hard time. I'm feeling a lot of guilt. I'm beating myself up about not being able to like take my son out places. Like today, I was like, we've got to get out of this house, And so we got up and we went to the park and we went to the skate park and all this stuff. And I just feel guilty because I want to be able to do more. It's summertime. And so, it's hard to push yourself to do stuff when you're like depressed. It's like, I don't want to freaking do nothing, but I know I need to, So, anyways, this isn't about me. This is about Nicole. So let's get her up here. Hey, girl.
Hey, are you all right, Annie?
I'll be all right. I'm just having a downtime. You know what I'm saying? Like every now and then I'll just have these like it happens like every 90 days. I swear. If you guys watch my videos, you'll see a pattern of like, I don't know how to explain it other than it's like cycles. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I'll be on a manic high, and then you can tell because I'll have all these plans and then I'll just crash, you know?
Yeah, I know. I know exactly how you feel.
So tell us, okay, first of all, introduce yourself to everybody, and then go ahead and start and just tell us about how it was when you were growing up, what your life, how you got on drugs, and then how you got sober.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name's Nicole, and I'm an addict. And let's see. I had a pretty good life growing up. My dad is an alcoholic, um, so I did see a lot of things growing up that, you know, people with parents who weren't alcoholics didn't see. Um, I learned at a real early age, like how to manipulate people when they were drunk, to give me like his buddies. I'd talk them into giving me money or buying me candy or a pop or something. I knew when to get in there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I started like drinking when I was probably about 14, 15. And I started smoking weed after I was like out of school. So I had tried it here and there, but nothing on a regular basis. Um, so I was pretty cool just smoking weed for a long time, and then I had a back surgery back in 2003,
Mm-hmm.
and it was bad. Like I had to have half my back replaced and metal rods put in and screws, and so I was on pain pills for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And they got me. I like the way they made me feel. Not only that they took away the pain, but I liked the way it made me feel. So
When you first started taking them, was it like you took them for the first time and then you were like, holy shit, this is amazing? Or was it something that like built up? You know what I mean?
it kind of built up because when I first started taking them, I was in a lot of pain. Like my back, my disc were rubbing together every time I would move or even breathe. I was
Mm-hmm.
in pain. So at first it was just like, this is good because it makes me not hurt as bad,
Right.
but it kind of snuck up on me. I didn't realize I needed them until it was already too late, you know. Um, and after I had my surgery, my doctor, my um, surgeon, prescribed me pain pills and muscle relaxers until 6 months after the surgery. Well, then he sent me to a pain clinic, but it just so happens the pain clinic that he sent me to was actually a pill mill.
Oh,
So,
damn.
yeah. So this doctor was giving me enormous amounts of narcotics. I mean, what you would expect someone dying with cancer to get, is what they were prescribing me. So,
Uh-huh.
but in my mind, that was coming from a doctor, so it was okay because that's what my bottle said to take. And, it just, before I realized what happened, it had completely consumed me. Like
Cam, hey, Cam wants you to explain what a pill mill is. Because I think where are you located at, Nicole?
Southern Ohio. Um,
Okay. Tell him what a pill mill is.
a pill mill is where a sponsor, usually someone who has some kind of felony on their record, okay, um, buys a doctor basically. They talk this doctor into coming and working for them. They rent a building somewhere, like it could be an old dollar store or just, you know, anything in any old building. They rent the building. They put in a few chairs, a waiting room, and some offices, rooms in the back. You go in and see the doctor. You pay your money. Usually, it was around $200 was what I would pay for my office visit.
Yeah, cash only, right?
Yeah, cash only.
Yeah.
They don't take insurance. I had insurance. They will not take the insurance. Um, you go in and see the doctor, and because I had medical records, legitimate medical records, they loved me at the pill mills because there was people making fake MRIs and like covering up one person's name and photo like editing another person's name in just to get them into the doctor.
Yeah.
But basically, you give them your $200 and you tell them your back hurts, and they will write you a script for about anything you want. I was getting oxycodone 15s, oxycontin 30s, and Xanax from the same doctor. So and now I know that they're not even supposed to prescribe those together like that, because like Xanax and oxycodone can make you overdose just taking them both together. So
Right.
They don't care though. Like they're just there to make that $200. I mean, the whole
Right.
parking lot would be full of people. They would see probably 200 to 300 patients a day, and every person that walked out of there was getting a script for a major amount of narcotics.
Right.
You have to
Like
take it.
90 a 90 to 120 pill count. You know what I'm saying? I remember, girl, we used to drive down to Florida from Arkansas
Mhm.
to
Yeah,
go to a pill mill down there.
yeah. After they started busting doctors up here, there was a lot of people up here that was driving all the way to Florida and then back home just to go to their doctor's appointment every month. Um, it was a
And
big
when you're
thing.
on opiates like that, I mean, a lot of people will go, "Oh my god, I can't believe you do that." But it when you're on those kind of pills and you have to have them.
Hmm.
So it's totally worth it to drive down once a month to another state to
Right.
get those pills. It's totally worth it.
Because
You know?
honestly, that's going to be cheaper than your alternative of going and buying them off the street, you know,
Right.
uh, even with all the costs that's associated with going to the pill mill, that's still cheaper on you than just buying them off the street would be. Um, a lot of the doctors in my area were actually prosecuted for doing what they did, because a lot of people died. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of people had their lives ruined. A lot of little kids don't have mom and dads now because these doctors went against everything they were trained and swore an oath to do, and they did nothing but harm. I mean, that was their intent from the moment you walked in the door. It wasn't to help you. It wasn't to give you a better quality of life, because all they did was, write these pills out. I mean, I know some doctors, you would go in and the name of the pill and the amount like would already be stamped onto um, their tablet. All they would have to do is sign it as each person came in, just like cookie cutter prescription pads. That all they did was sign it as each person came in and wrote your name at the top. That everything was just already stamped on there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's this community has been hit hard because of the opiates, and now it's being hit hard by like meth and heroin, because now that they closed down the pill mills, people are still looking for a way to get high, so
How did you get off of all those pills? Or tell me what happened. I don't want to cut you. I want you
no,
to tell the
I don't.
story. So you go ahead.
Well, because I was getting so much, and the guy I was with then, my kid's dad, he was going to the doctor too. So we were getting, you know, all these pills for both of us a month. Um, he had started selling some on the side just to make extra money, and someone ended up wearing a wire in. And even though I wasn't the one selling them, you know, wasn't involved in the actual transaction, just because it was my house and I was there, I was charged with the same thing he was. So he ended up getting sentenced to 4 years in prison. I got sentenced to 6 years, but was allowed to give him the chance to do this rehab program. It's called STAR, and it was basically like a boot camp rehab. Very
I went to one
regimented.
similar here in I went to a similar prison.
Yeah,
It was a boot camp style prison, and it was part of the Arkansas Department of Corrections, but it was like for people that had drug addictions or have committed like nonviolent offenses.
yeah. That's what this was like. I mean, it was a minimum security prison.
Yeah.
That's what it was classified as. And there were bars and there was wire. You know, I mean, it wasn't like you could just walk out like you could on like a regular rehab.
Right.
But I did 3 months in the county because they just flat refused to give me bail. Like they did not want me to leave. I don't know what the judge's reasoning was behind it, because they let my kid's dad out. But I don't know, maybe he figured since they were going to send him to prison, they were letting him out to take care of his business, but they didn't want me to get out and get in more trouble before they sent me to that rehab program, was all I could figure out. Because I hadn't really been in trouble before, other than, you know, like getting in fights with someone, or, you know, back when I used to drink, and you know how that goes when you're drinking, people will argue and it turns into a fist fight before you really know what happened. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's been years before, you know. So I sat in the county for 3 months. I went to STAR. I did almost 6 months there. And it broke me down. I think from where I had been in jail for 3 months before that, I was already starting to come out of that haze. You know, the haze I'm talking about, where the drugs have controlled you for so long that you weren't able to think clearly. You know?
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I
Um,
know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah. So it's like my mind was getting clearer every day, and I started, like, all the things they were having us do, like all the activities and the assignments, and talking about where my addiction had led me. Because when I first got caught, I was like, I don't have problems, you know, there's nothing wrong with me. Mind your own business. I'm fine.
Isn't that crazy how we're like literally getting arrested and we're like, we don't have, I'm just fine. I'm handling this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
my
like,
biggest concern was I've got an appointment next week. You know,
it's
like
denial. It's
yeah,
delusion and denial, you know?
yeah,
And I think that with addiction, that's what happens. So it's like deep seated delusion and denial, you know?
yeah. Oh yeah. And I started, I actually started listening to what they were trying to tell me, instead of just thinking I had it all figured out, you know. And some of the activities they would make us do started to get to me. Like, I started thinking about the other people in my life instead of just me. And, you know, that made me see that I wasn't the person that I knew I could be, or that I knew I wanted to be. You know, I wasn't the mom I wanted to be. I wasn't the daughter, the sister, the friend. Just I had let things go without even realizing what had happened. you
It
know.
happens so fast.
hmm
You know, you wake up and you're a different person taken over by substances. And I think probably what made it even harder for you is that you were being prescribed those substances legally for a legitimate pain, for a back issue, you know?
yeah, yeah. So I mean, it was like to me, I was thinking, well, it's not like, you know, I just started doing these because it felt good. I really needed them, but that was just my addiction talking, you know. Um, like I think a long time, the pain that I would feel after my surgery wasn't really pain. It was my brain telling me, you're feeling this, so you need to do another pill, you know? Um, because after I got clean and was locked up all that time, you would think that if it was really something wrong with me, if my body was still really in pain, I would have still felt that pain. But I didn't. Like each day, I was able to move more. You know, I was more limber and able to do more things. And, you know, it saved my life. I mean, I know that might sound cheesy, but being arrested and getting locked up and having everything taken from me was what I needed.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think anything else would have worked. I couldn't have done it if I could have gotten up and walked out of that rehab, you know? Um,
Right. When you came out of prison, were you able to stay sober just like that? No problems?
no, no, not at first, because I mean, I had been with my kid's dad since we were 18, 19 years old, okay? I didn't get in trouble until I was 35, 36. So this man was all I had known, you know? This was my whole life. And he was in prison um, when I got out. So I panicked, you know, and it was like I wanted to go back to what had been my normal because I was scared. I didn't know what to do. You know, I didn't know how to be a mom and all these other things sober. I knew how to do them when I was high. I had that down, you know, but I didn't know how to do it sober, and I got really overwhelmed. And plus, he wasn't there, and he had always been there. Like he was always like my cushion to fall back on or to blame when I would mess up. Well, you know, like I wouldn't have done that if you wouldn't have been here telling me to do it. You know, like he was my scapegoat for a lot of bad stuff I did, you know, and it took me a long time. Like I relapsed a few times and I got busted. It was like every single time I would take that chance and get
Yeah.
high. It was like my PO knew. Like he just knew and would show up to do a house check and was I was like, go ahead, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and get in the back of your car because it's every
Damn.
every time. And yeah, I did like a few times where I'd have to go do 3 days in jail and you know, for piss and dirty.
Yep.
And I mean, he could have revocated me 3 or 4 times because I was just when I first got out because I didn't have my kids back instantly. Like I had to fight my ex's mom to get custody of my kids back. And to me, it was like that was all I needed where I was so fresh, you know, at being clean. That was all I needed to convince myself, screw everything, I'm going to go get high. I don't have my kids anyway. So
Yeah.
why should I even try, you know? So, it took me a minute to get it. And it took me a while to realize I was worth it. Like, I think a part of me didn't feel like I was worth being clean and having a good life and being happy because I had heard for so many years that I wasn't worth it, you know, that that was all I was ever going to be. And it's like I believed it, even though I don't think I realized that on a conscious level for a long time. That was my inner voice was telling me, you know, you're going to mess it up anyway. You know, why get your hopes up? Why put too much of an effort into it? Because you're just going to mess it up. So it's just easier to curl up with my monkey on my shoulder, you know, and let him whisper all these sweet nothings in my ear and, you know, be oblivious. Go to where I don't have to think anymore because
Right.
thinking hurt too much. So I just wanted to be numb, you know. And I think all addicts, that becomes a big part of why you keep going back day after day, even though you know I'm living in insanity. And what am I doing? Like, it's because you want to be numb. You don't want to have to think about it. You don't want to face the reality of what you have let your life become. You know, I mean, that was
Especially when,
part of
like,
it.
losing your kids is hard. I mean, at least it was for me when I lost Nathaniel. So that makes it even more difficult. I mean, I knew I had to kick it into overgear to get him back, but like every time that something would happen that would like they would say, okay, well, you're not going to get visitations this weekend, or, you know, we would anything that happened, it would be so overwhelming and hard to handle because I just was it was just so much at one time to try and stay sober and be fighting to get your kids back. It's just hard, man. It's not easy.
Yeah. And I didn't have any support. Like, I had alienated everybody because my kid's dad was one of those really controlling people who push everybody else that cares about you away from you. So I had alienated all the everyone that cared about me, basically, you know.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to get a good enough support system, a sober support system around me to keep telling me, you know, Cole, you're worth it. You know, you can do it. Your kids are worth it. Like, quit playing that track in your mind that leads you back to getting high. Um,
Right.
because we can't do it for you. You know, you've got to do that yourself. And I finally got it. Like, I just finally got it. Like, I got my kids back, um, like 3 months after I got home. Um, and then, like, I started thinking about what they had went through. Like, I didn't want them to have to go through that. I didn't want them to, you know, have mom gone again and them have to go live with grandma and you know, like I just started putting myself in their shoes and thinking about, you know, come on, you're better than this. You know, you're better than this.
It's
And
hard to face the reality that you've put your kids and yourself in that situation. You
yeah,
know, after I got sober and I had to look back on my behavior and how I affected my family, my son, my husband, everybody in my life, it's like it's a hard situation because it's like, damn, I was a piece of shit. I was treating everybody in my life horribly, you know?
yeah, yeah. And like while he was in prison, he was still trying to control my life and my inner narrative to myself. And this is so wild. And when I tell people this, I know people think there's no way that happened, but I swear to you, this happened. You know how when you J pay somebody, or it used to be when you would J pay someone through the J pay thing, they would get your message printed out and they would get a reply thing, like a form that they could write their letter out on and then give it back to a CO, and then they would like fax it or whatever, put it into the computer for them. Like, this was
Hmm.
before they had the kiosk and everything where they could do it themselves. Somebody got in his mail, got one of those reply forms to me, and wrote me and told me about how he was a piece of crap, that he was, you know, talking to all these other girls, how he bragged about how he had cheated on me all these years, and, you know, like just basically running me into the ground to people that didn't even know me. And whoever this guy was, because he didn't sign a name, I don't know if it was just an enemy of his, but like that's what it took for me to.
That they did you a favor, girl.
Yes, they really did. Even if they thought they were just like, hurting him, they helped me. And I
Yeah.
hope that was their intent. Like, I hope that when that dude did that to him, it wasn't just because Kyle owed him some Roman noodles or something, I hope it was because, like,
Yeah.
he was genuinely trying to do a solid for someone who really needed it at that time. So, like, I just told him, like, I'm done. I don't want to be with you when you get out. Well, he started scrambling, and he even got my name tattooed on his chest, which, that's a sure fire way to guarantee it's going to end is by
That's what
getting.
I just told my husband the other
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
Because I was talking about getting a tattoo, and I said, I'm not getting your name on my arm because we'll get divorced, and then I'll be pissed.
right, right. And it was like, I started putting myself and my kids first, and it was so much easier than I had ever thought it would be. Like, when you're with someone from the time you're 18, 19 years old and into your late mid 30s, like that's all you know. You don't know anything else. So it's really scary thinking about being with someone else or even being alone, because
Yep.
I had to learn to be okay being alone before I ever could think about being with someone else. Um,
That's a hard that was one of the things that I struggled with the most was that's probably why I dated so many unsavory characters because I
right.
couldn't stand to be alone with myself because I hated myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would date all these dudes that I had to take care of and like pay their pay their fines and buy them cars and get them dope. They didn't take care of me. I bought everything. And
Right.
now I'm so glad that I don't have people like that in my life anymore who just suck me dry. It was like I just had my tit out and the guys would just be sucking me
Yeah.
dry.
Like you were their sugar mama. Yeah. And
Yeah.
like I didn't just, suddenly find a great guy like my husband is now, but I had a few hit and misses, you know what I mean? Like because my picker was broken for a
Yep.
long time. Like you just said, like I would pick the exact wrong guy in a room full of 100 guys to go out with.
Isn't
Like
that crazy? It's
yeah,
like
it was
when
like
you
I had a loser magnet somewhere inside of me, and it took me a while to find where it was and get it removed.
the most broken dude in the room, the dude
Yeah,
that's got like that's been I mean just horrible shit's happened to him,
right. The
and we
most
would be with
baggage.
those guys.
Yeah, yeah. Like I did. I had a few of those, but after a couple years, it was like I'd finally gotten to like myself again, and I quit settling for less than what I felt like I deserved. And less than what I felt like my kids deserved because in my mind it was a package deal. Like you can love me with your whole heart and think I'm just the greatest thing ever, but if you can't love my kids, then it's that's a deal breaker because I'm a package deal. They come with me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I met my husband now, and I mean honestly, I had never felt that way about someone my entire life because with my kid's dad, it was always based on our addictions, and like
Yeah.
we're finding each other's bullshit and enabling each other to the point where we were killing ourselves and telling each other it was okay, that we had it. So I'd never had a healthy love. I had never known the love of a man who was loving me in a healthy manner and in a way that would improve my life and my kids' life, and without me having to compromise and give up so many parts of myself. Like he complimented me instead
Yeah.
of detracting from me. And he's just kind and generous, and caring, and like it took me a minute to really believe that he was interested in me, because I'm like, dude, like I am so broken, and I'm still working on all these character defects, because you can't fix those overnight. Even when you're aware of them, even when you sit and write them down and tell yourself, this is one of my character defects, this is one of my flaws, I need to work on this, I need to make a conscious effort every day to work on this. You still have those moments where that's going to pop out, no matter how hard you're working on it, because it is a
Yeah,
character
sure.
defect. It's part of, like your makeup, like who you are. And that takes time and practice, like anything worthwhile does. And he would help me with those, and he didn't feed into that monkey that I had on my back. Like he helped me keep it away, like keep it at bay. He didn't let me go around people that were like old people, places, and things. He without like bossing me around, he would be like, "Do you really think that's the best situation for you to place yourself in? Because what if this happens? What if they pull out, drugs and cut you out of line? Are you strong enough to say no today, or do you think you're gonna give in?" And it would make me play that tape out in my head, and oh yeah, you're probably right. Like, he's just made my life better, my kids' lives better, and we've been married almost 8 years now. And I mean, it's just he makes me a better person every day. And I really don't think that I could have made it this far and been clean this long without having that support and that accountability in my life on a daily basis.
Okay,
Like,
sounds like you got a good dude. I remember feeling the same way when I met my husband, and I was like, I can't believe he wants to date me. Like I felt like I wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? Um, but that's just because we sold ourselves short for so many years. We would, we probably set ourselves up to be with these people that didn't value us. And then when we met these good people in our lives that actually treated us with respect and kindness, it's like hard to understand. You're like, whoa, wait a second. You're opening the car door for me? Like, I couldn't believe it because I had always been used to paying for dudes food, all kinds of stuff, and he was
yeah,
paying the dinner bill, and I'm like trying to pay the bill too, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm paying for my food. What are you doing?"
right.
"I'm paying for your food," and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. And like, he was such a good guy, like, because my kid's dad was still in prison, okay? So no one in his family would take the kids to see him. I couldn't because we were co-defendants. And in the state of Ohio, they won't let co-defendants visit each other in prison. So I couldn't. And they hadn't seen their dad for like 2 years. This man went and got approved on my ex's visitation list and took my kids to see their dad. Like how many men are going to do that? Like, not very many.
That's
Sorry.
awesome. That's because you've got somebody that really cares about you, and he wants that your kids to be able to. You know what? Even though your husband that you were married to before got in trouble and everything, like your kids still have a right to be able to see their dad, and the fact that he would do that to take them up there to see him, that shows character.
Yeah, yeah. Like, he's just, I don't know very many people who could, that's the first time you're laying eyes on your wife's ex, is you taking their kids in to see him in prison like that. That takes.
Well, at least he knows he ain't gonna come out and get to you.
Well, he's been out. He's been out for a few years now, and he did all right for a while, and went right back to that life. And now he's with this woman who has lost literally everything she had going for her when she first got with him, and it breaks my heart for her. But you can only you can only offer advice to somebody as long as they're willing to take it, you know. And I
Right.
gave her my advice, and it was my honest advice, nothing to do with, you know, jealousy or whatever. Like, it was my honest woman to woman advice. Like, you may want to rethink this because, I mean, she lost her job, her home, her vehicle, custody of her children. They're living in a slum now. I don't even know. Like, I really don't have much contact with him, but just from because my kids are grown and out on their own now, and just things that the kids will come back and tell me, it breaks my heart because I don't I don't wish that life on anyone, not even him. Like, I don't want that to be his life. I want him to find the same happiness I have because my he deserves it. My kids deserve it, you know. But I can't be the one to save him, you know. Um,
Right.
I all I can do is pray for him and hope that he figures it out one day, you know, before it's too late. But I mean, I had to let all that go. You know, I had to let that go. I couldn't keep trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho, you know, and try to fix him,
Right.
you know. So
It drags you down when you're trying to do all that. It's like now you can focus on yourself and your family and
right.
all that, you know? It's so much better to be like with somebody who, like you said, compliments you and you guys help each other. And,
Hmm.
and instead of being in a relationship where it's all give, 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 or take, take, take.
Right. And that was one cool thing. Like, my husband now, he never had addiction issues, so it wasn't something that we were having a battle together. It was, you know, I had him there saying, you know, that's not logical. I know your brain is telling you that's logical, but honey, just take my word for it. What you're wanting to go do right now is not logical. You know, just because you checked in and don't have to check in until next month does not mean you can go get a 30 and get high today. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Right.
that's not logical. That's and after a while, like, I quit having those urges. Like, sometimes I'll have, you know, like the using dreams, and I wake up and feel so guilty. Like it's in my mind, it's like it really happened, even though it was just a dream.
Oh,
But
I've totally had dreams like that too, where I woke
yeah,
up and it was like I had gotten high and my heart was beating like really fast. And then I would look at my arms and I'd be like, girl, you ain't got high. You hadn't even left the bed.
right, right.
You know?
Like, I've woken up in tears before, thinking, "Oh my God, I just lost my clean date," and still be in bed, but like still crying, thinking that I just, you know, yeah, those dreams are very lucid, and maybe it's from where we damaged our brains somewhere. I don't know, but yeah, they can be pretty scary.
Oh, for real scary.
Yeah.
So how long have you been sober since you got sober? How long has it been since you
Um,
how long have you been sober, girl?
Almost 8 years. December 3rd, 2012 is my clean date.
Damn, that's a long time.
Yeah, and we got married like a year later on the, or no, yeah, we got married in 2012. So yeah, our anniversary is the same as my clean date. So I'm glad he didn't hear me say that.
That's a long time. I'm so proud of you.
Mhm.
If anybody, okay, so I like to ask these questions. If you could give advice to anybody that was out there that was still in their addiction, what would you tell that person?
Um, oh my goodness, like, you may not believe it, but you're worth so much more, and just try, you know, and keep trying. It's okay if you slip. It's okay if you stumble. Just don't give up on yourself because you're worth it, you know, and life can be so much better than what it is right now. And you may not believe that. It may look like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but there is. And just Don't give up. Fight for that. Fight for that life the same way you fought to get high every day. Put
Yeah.
effort into being who you were meant to be. Because I know me myself, when I woke up, if I didn't have my drugs, nothing was going to stop me from going and finding them. And that's
That's
how you
right.
have to be with your recovery. You have to fight for that the same way you fought to stay high. That's the only way I can put it. Don't give up on yourself. You're worth it. You really are. Don't listen to the voices in your head telling you you're not, because honey, you are. And life can be a very beautiful thing. And I'm living proof of
How
that.
did how did you find out? How did you learn how to love yourself, and how did you learn that you were worth it? Did it just take time?
Yeah, it took time. Took a lot of like good self talk. Like that was one of the things they taught me in that rehab I was in, was you have to start saying good things in your mind instead of the bad, because when you listen to the bad, that's just setting you up for failure. And
Yep,
if you want to keep failing, then keep thinking that way. But if you
that's
want
right.
to do better, then talk yourself up. When you set a little goal and you reach that goal, you're allowed to be proud of yourself. Like, it does, you don't have to, you know Rome wasn't built in a day. Well, neither was my recovery. It was a struggle, and there was little goals I met, and I would be proud of myself, and each goal I met, the prouder I would be. So you just you got to believe in yourself, and no
I
matter
don't think
what.
people realize. I don't think people understand, like, when you're talking to yourself negatively and you're saying I'm never going to get sober, or I just might as well just, it's like the more that you talk to yourself in that negative way, the more that you start to live that way in your life. And so living in our addiction, all we did was negative behaviors, and so when we're getting out of addiction, we have to change everything from that negative self-talk to, like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to achieve greatness, I'm going to get away from addiction, and I'm going to start being successful, I'm going to get this job, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to have my kids back, I'm going to have my family, because I used to do the same thing. Like, I would just beat myself down nonstop, and it was like I didn't even know how to respond or treat myself good, because I had never done it. I was always talking down to myself, always like alcohol. And so when I got sober, it was such a hard transition to change the way I had always practiced treating myself, to treating myself good. And I'm still trying to learn how to do it, but it's
Yeah,
like the every day that you practice, you get better and better at it.
right. And just look at yourself through your kid's eyes, and I mean, like, you're their hero. So you've got to be a good person, right? Like, if you can just stop and think about what they see you as, like, it makes you feel so much better about yourself, when your kids can look up to you, like, that's an amazing thing, you know?
Yeah,
That's
it
what I
really is.
think about each day. It's like, I don't want to see them look disappointed. I don't want to have to visit my kids, you know, with a glass between us and talking on a phone, and me and stripes, like, I don't ever want them to have to experience that again. And it just helps remind me every day, like, you've come so far, like, you're stronger than what you give yourself credit for, and like, you can do amazing things, and that's all you got to do is believe it. Believing really is half the battle. Like, you've got to have that mindset and that positive energy, and now that it's been so long, like, I try to spread that to other people.
Yeah,
When
that
even
helps a
people I
lot.
don't know, like total strangers that I'll meet, like on YouTube, or I try to compliment them. I try to tell them, like, you're a good person, or wow, you're really talented at this, you should pursue that, because putting that energy out helps me attract it back into my own heart. Like if I'm sitting here being negative to people all day long and pointing out shit they're doing wrong, that doesn't make me feel like a nice person or a good person. Like, I want to make people smile that day. If I'm the only compliment they got all day, you know, that's awesome that I took 2 seconds out of my day to tell them, you're smart, or you're, you know, talented. You could do so much with that, keep pursuing it. You're doing great. You're doing a good job. If I can help one person in the day by doing that, then that's I have a reason for being here still,
It
like,
really makes a difference when you can do that. It'll make a difference in your life because you're putting out good energy into the world, and so that's going to come back to you, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Do you have a channel?
no.
Okay.
No,
Because
I'm just
I
it's
don't know why I thought
life.
you had a
I ended
channel.
up in even meeting you, just by chance. But that's how life is. Like, you end up where you're supposed to be right at that time. And I mean, that's how I believe, um, that everything happens for a reason. I'm
Yeah.
like the beginning of this, I could tell like you were beating yourself up and you were feeling down, and maybe that's why I was meant to be here right now, is to tell you, don't do that, because you did it for too many years, and you need to focus on the positive things you do now with your life. You need to focus on, like how your little boy sees you, like being that strong woman who he can feel safe with. Don't let the negative self-talk defeat you, because
I beat myself.
that's just
You
your
know,
addiction trying to get back in there.
especially since I know this is like totally off subject, but it's like being at this house for months because I'm telling you, this coronavirus stuff has really put the just like a downer on this whole summer
Yeah.
because I was looking forward to summer, and we have a family vacation that we always go on during the summer, and so I just feel so like bad because I want my son to have a great time. His birthday's next week, y'all. He's July 4th is his
How
birthday,
old,
you know?
how old will he be?
So I beat five, no, 6. He'll be 6. And so I beat
Oh,
myself up because it's because I just want him to have to be so happy because he's an only child, and I feel guilty
mhm.
because he doesn't have any brothers or sisters to play with. Y'all, I could just sit here and tell y'all about all the reasons why I feel guilty, and you would probably laugh because it's like this kid's got the life. He's got a brand new TV in his room, a brand new cell phone at 5 years old. He's
Yeah,
got everything a kid could want and more. And I'm
right.
still beating myself up because I've got guilt and shame from when I was in my addiction, because I
Yeah,
lost him, and because I was getting high when he was little. And so it's just like, it's guilt from my addiction that just bleeds into my life now, you know?
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Trust me. And it's hard to let that go. Like, it's still, my kids are grown and on their own, and I still have moments where, you know, the guilt just consumes me to the point where all I want to do is lay in bed and feel sorry for myself all day, but I can't do that, and I know it. But yeah, I get exactly what you're talking about. Like, and that's just a reality. That's part of the broken part in us, that
Yeah.
that's just probably always going to be broken. But
And then, girl, listen, I called my husband because I was crying, y'all.
mm,
I called my husband. He goes, I can't keep up with you. Yesterday you were saying something about this and that, and you were crying about that. Now today you're crying about a different thing. And
it's
I just
hard
like,
when, like, when you can't interact with people, and Go out and just do those normal things, that,
Yes, girl. Yes. I called my friend that her little boy's best friends with Nate, and I was like, Nicole, because her name's Nicole too. Isn't that crazy? Three
yeah,
Nicoles. I was like, Nicole, please let Brooks come over tomorrow morning. Please. And she's like, I have to go to the doctor at 8:30. And I was like, drop him off on your way, girl. I'll take him. Just
right,
so I want to see my little boy have fun this summer. I want him to be able to. I mean, of course, like, and here again, I'm beating myself up. I take him out to the lake, to the creek. We go hiking. We do all kinds of fun stuff. But it's like a couple days in a row, I've been in a funk, and so I feel this immense sense of guilt because I haven't been like on my A game for the last 2 days. That's it, 2 days. I've been stuck in the house in a depression, and I'm beating myself down for it. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, ugh.
Yeah,
I'm very critical of myself, and I'm very like, that's why it's like so important to me to do my channel and like to do what I say I'm going to do when I come on here, because I'm very much like, I have to outdo what I did the day before. I'm like, bah, 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 you know what I mean? And so that's how I am in real life with my family too. I'm like, I just want everything to be better than the day before, and that's
yeah,
probably driving me a little insane.
yeah. Oh, I feel you.
I'm a freaking manic, wild woman,
Yeah,
okay? But that's the good part about me, is that I'm just like, everything that I do is like so from my heart, like I
yeah,
do this channel because I want to help people and I want to change people's lives, and I want people to know that there's support and that they're not alone and that there's no judgment, and they can always be here with us. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
that's so important to me, because for so long I felt like I didn't have a safe space where I could talk about my sobriety and actually openly share about how I got sober and what's working for me. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm building my own community. And it's been such an amazing journey, and it's helped me so much. And now I get to have people on to share their stories. And that makes me so happy to hear y'all's stories, because I'm like, wow, we have so much in common. Like when you were sharing about, not feeling like you're worth it, I know exactly what you mean. I feel
yeah,
like that all the time. I used to feel like that even more when I was, in my addiction. And so I hear so many people's stories, and I feel like our stories are all connected and intertwined because we have so much in common.
yeah,
Sorry, girl, I don't mean to get emotional. I'm so happy to be able to have you on and to have you share your story, because it's just there's so many different people that can relate to that. You know what I mean?
yeah. And you
So,
need to start for every time you have a negative thought like that, you need to think of two good thoughts about yourself. Compliment yourself twice. Like you just said, you keep this channel going because you want to help people. That takes a strength of character not very many people have. You know, um, compliment yourself twice for every time you beat yourself up in your mind. Make yourself compliment yourself twice. And if you have to, write it out. Write a pros and cons. Like I did, I still do that. I'll sit down and write down negative things and then positive things. And I won't stop until my positive side outweighs my negative. Even if I gotta sit
yeah.
there for 2 hours, you
And
know.
Nicole, the thing is, like, I know all of these things. Like, I
Yeah,
tell other people these things every day, and I can tell you guys all day long how to change your lives, how to stay sober, how to be successful, how to do this, do that, and the third. I will know it without a shadow of a doubt. But when it comes down to me applying it, sometimes it's so hard for me. But
oh, I know.
eventually, what happens is I get so uncomfortable until I am forced to make the change. That's
Right.
what happens to me. I get to the point of no return, and then I'm like, hot damn, I got to do something different. I don't know why I do that to myself. It's like I will torture myself until I can't take it anymore. And then I'm like, ah! and then I make a change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's just like the straight up drug addict in me. It's like, I'm going to do what I want to do while I want to do it
Oh yeah.
until I can't take it anymore.
Right. Because our way is the right way, right?
Yeah, yeah. Man, and that's how it was when I was in my addiction, you guys. Like, I was balls to the wall, getting high all day, every day, until I couldn't take it anymore. You know?
Yeah.
Damn, it's so crazy because, like, if I could just apply that, like, headstrong, nonstop psychoticness to, like,
Mm.
healthy eating and exercising every day, I would be a supermodel.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, we can only do what we can do,
Yeah.
and beating ourselves up about stuff that we didn't get done that day, that's not accomplishing anything. So just at the end of the day, sit down and be like, okay, I did this today. I did that today. That helped this person. That helped that person. I did this, and the only person it helped was me. But that's okay because I'm allowed to help myself too. You know,
Yeah.
I try to do that. Like if I don't, I feel myself, like you said, falling into that despair and guilt and shame, and I'll start to alienate. And I this COVID has been really bad for me mentally because I love to alienate. Like
Yeah.
that. I love to just shut the whole entire world out and just be me. So I have had to work really hard not to do that, even if it means, video chatting my niece and my little great niece until she's ready to unhook her phone because I've called her so many times that day. Um, just I have to make myself reach out to other people because I know me. I know if I let myself get too comfortable without interacting, that voice in the back of my head is going to start. It's going to go from being just a whisper in my ear to being screams. Constant
You
screaming.
messaged me and you were like,
Driving.
I'll come on and tell my story. Because I remember when you were on Lauren's channel, and I was like, wow, because you're new, you're kind of new to our side of YouTube, the Real Talk Recovery side of YouTube.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hell yeah. Sometimes I'm like, well, do they really want to come on, or are they going to be nervous? Or are they going to, and then you were like, I'll come on. And I'm like, okay. So it's set up perfectly to where we had 3 ladies at the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
Then we're having 3 guys at the end of the week. And then on Sunday, we got a husband and wife couple coming on. So it worked out so perfectly. And last week, if y'all didn't notice, I was manic as fuck last week. I was planning all kinds of like crazy stuff to do on the channel. I'm like, we're doing 7 days in a row. Da, 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 da. And then this week I crashed and burned, and I'm like, 7 days, 7 speakers, 7 days in a row.
Right.
I'm like, damn it, what did I get myself into?
When you asked me what day, I was like, well, put me on Wednesday because that's hump day. You know what I mean? So that's halfway through the week.
I'm so glad that you came on because it's like, I texted you to y'all. I texted her. I was like, "You're still coming on, aren't you?" Because I'm so used to people saying, "Oh, I'll be there," and then them not coming, and I'm like, "Ah!"
Right. No, I wouldn't do that to you.
I really, like, seriously, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us. I really appreciate it. I really, really do.
No problem. I hope that that I maybe helped someone or just gave someone that reminder that they are beautiful and they are worth it and not to give up.
You helped me, girl. Thank you. I appreciate it. I needed to hear what you had to say because I was feeling all kinds of bad. I was having a pity party at the beginning of this video, and now look, I feel great.
Good. I'm glad. I'm really glad, honey.
And I hear your dogs in the background. Is that dogs that I hear?
Yeah, my fur babies. Like I've got the whole empty nest syndrome going on right now because
Yeah.
my baby girl just moved out. She graduated from the criminal justice program, which I think is just awesome and ironic all at the same time.
That is crazy. That's awesome though. Like, good for
Yeah,
her.
yeah. But and yeah, she moved out after graduation and is working, waiting to go to the police academy when it opens back up in the fall. And so like I have no kids now, and I inherited her dog, and then my husband has 2 dogs and I have one, so I got 4 dogs now. So that like keeps me busy too. That keeps me from feeling too sad that all my babies are out of my nest, you know. So,
Dogs are the best.
yeah,
We had 4 dogs, but now we only have 3 because one of them passed away. But we have 3 dogs, and whenever I'm feeling down, like today, I was laying in the bed just being depressed, and the dog jumped up on the bed with me, my biggest dog, because I have 2
yeah.
little dogs and a big dog. And he jumped up there with me and just started licking my leg just nonstop. And I'm like, "What are you doing? Stop!" And he's like,
Oh yeah, they can feel it when
Yeah.
when there's something wrong and they just want to make it better. That's what I love about my dogs. It's just pure love. You know, no judgment, no um talking about me behind my back. You know what I mean? No,
I
they're
know. I
honest.
know. Dogs are amazing. They're so much better than people. Like, I
Yeah,
love dogs. You're right. The talk, you just won me over with they don't talk behind my back. I'm like, yes, because I have had such, it's like I feel like I have had such a hard time with people, with friends on YouTube. And so I'm like, when I meet good people and they're solid, I'm like overkill. I'm so happy to have them in my life because it's like such a struggle to find people that are just good friends. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
guess it's because I'm getting older, and what I consider a good friend is a lot different than what I did when I was in my addiction. In my addiction, it was like, oh, you shared a shot of meth with me. I love you. We're best friends.
right, right. Yeah,
You
I always
know?
used to say because, like, the difference between an alcoholic or someone and a pillhead is that a pillhead will steal your stuff and then help you look for it, you know, and
Hell yeah.
be ready to jump in the car and go whoop whoever's ass it was that robbed you, knowing they got
Yeah.
the stuff in their pocket. You know, like there is no loyalty, there is no friendship when it comes to that. It's just everyone's out for themselves. And I
Yep.
don't
Every
want
man for
to ever be
themselves.
that person again. You know, I don't ever want to be, because that's not really truly who I am, and it never has been. Like I've always been, I I always took up for the underdog. You know, when I was younger in school, and if I
Me
seen
too,
a boy
girl.
getting picked on, I was the first one to defend them, and you know, so that's naturally my nature is to protect and defend, and so you know, like I'm much happier being the me I am now than who I was when I was getting high.
Well, I want to like stay in touch with me because I want to schedule you for an update like in a couple, like a week or I mean a month or so. I like
Okay.
to have people back on, and then we can just talk about, we can just tell stories together. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. Okay.
Awesome. Awesome, honey. Thank you so much. And thank you to your audience and everyone. Thank you for your kind words. And just, I hope I brought a smile to you guys' faces today, if nothing else. Um,
Thanks, Nicole. You did good, girl. I appreciate you.
thanks, honey. I'll see you later.
All right, girl. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Hold on, guys. I got it. Okay, you guys, I feel a lot better. As you can probably tell, I was just feeling like shit at the beginning of the video, and that happens sometimes. Like I said, I've been having like just emotional ups and downs lately, but I feel a little, and it's like, here's the thing: when I have these like meetings and stuff, and we have a guest on, this is like going to church for me. Like, when I hear you guys' stories, I get so much from it, and it helps me so much. And so, thank you to everybody that agreed to share their stories this week, because I needed a break from talking on my channel. Like, I felt like I've been talking for 15 years, and having you guys on to share your stories gives me a chance to just sit down and listen and feed my soul. Because, honey, my soul needed to be fed. Misty, shards cracks me up. Merc, don't you know Big Sid is like the king of the shardy pieces? I see you, Brandon. You done snuck in under another account, huh? And look at me. I was going to laugh so hard, you guys. So I'm watching the chat as y'all are chatting over here, and I see Brandon sneak in under another account, right? And Cindy's like, "Hey, Brandon, are you in the military?" She doesn't realize it's the other Brandon. Brandon, welcome back to the party. I'm sorry I haven't been able to go into my computer and unblock you because honestly, I haven't been on the computer except for at 7 o'clock when we do these live streams. So you're back. Do not lose your nards over some shards. She did a great job. And listen, you guys, like if you don't want to show your face when you come on to share your story, that's okay. You can do just like Nicole did and just have the black screen. Or you can have like a photo picture up there. You know what I'm saying? It's just whatever y'all want to do. But either way, it works out because it's just like you can listen and it's like a podcast. You know what I mean? And so that's our third day. Our 7 days, 7 speakers, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If y'all didn't know, my lucky number is 7777. And so the whole 777 thing is just like amazing to me. Because when I was in Arkansas Department of Corrections, my ADC number was 754077. So anyway, I feel a lot better. I just, like I said, I have been just having the hardest like time with just like feeling emotional and just, I don't know if it's hormones or what, you guys, but I've been really struggling with my emotions the past couple days. For those of you guys that work out with me and Nick, I'm sorry that I haven't worked out the last 3 days. I've just been crying basically on the phone with Nick for the last 3 days. And today I went and signed up, tomorrow I'm meeting with this guy at 3 p.m. for CrossFit. And so I'm joining a CrossFit gym. So I'll take y'all with me when I go to sign up tomorrow. But I'm really nervous because now I'm like going to be working out in front of God and everybody. What's up, hey, LT? I'm going to be working out in front of, well, I mean, I've already worked out in front of God and everybody. I don't know why I'm tripping. Y'all have seen me work out, and that's humiliating because I'm so overweight, you guys. And so now I'm re-beating myself up because I'm like, I'm going to be working out in front of all these people at the CrossFit gym, you know? Hey, Fred, I seen you join my Patreon, man. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it. And I was reading in the comments, you opened a Patreon too. What's your link? Is it Tales from the Pen on Patreon? Oh, he did, that little sneaker. Let me go look. Or did he put it on my community tab or his community tab? Oh man, listen, we were working out hardcore, man, here on the channel. I just haven't worked out for 3 days in a row, but we have been working out privately on Zooms. And when I tell you guys, like, by the time we're done working out, I'm pouring down sweat. But nobody can out squat me. I can do squats for days. Like, I love working, like my lower body is so in shape, right? But damn, my upper body, I have no upper body strength. Oh, okay. You're lost on Patreon. Freya, you're already on Patreon, girl. We have a lot of patrons, you guys. I can't even believe it. I remember when I first started Patreon, and I was super nervous to start it because I never want anybody to think I'm trying to take advantage of them, And so that's why I made it only $2 so anybody can join it. But I remember when I first started it, and I was so afraid to even tell people that I started a Patreon because I thought, oh no, they're going to think that all I want is money. And just so you guys know, that's not even what it's about. It's just, no. But I went ahead and started it anyway. And I'm so glad I did because we have such a tight knit group of people there. You know what I mean? 7 speakers, 7 days, 7 p.m., 7 hours straight. No. We have a really solid group of people in there. Y'all are all amazing, and y'all help me stay on track. Because there's days where I just get up and I go in there and I'm like, y'all, I'm just having a shitty day today, And I'm not like, I just have days, And I think we all have that struggle, but it's like I'm extra hard on myself, you guys, because I want to set a good example, and I want to show you guys that recovery is amazing and that you can do this. And so I am extra hard on myself because I don't ever want to discourage you guys. I don't want you guys to I don't know. I'm very hard on myself. Hey, Nancy. So Merc is just crazy, y'all. Merc has been MIA for the last 2 days. I don't know where his ass has been. Did you start work back or something? I think you've been back to work, huh? Hey, Green-Eyed Cat. Oh, no, this isn't Patreon. This is a regular video. Where have you been, Green-Eyed Cat? You've been MIA too. A lot of you guys have been MIA. I'm going to have to start making a list of everybody that's not been showing up. I know work is going back, so a lot of us are having to go back to work. I've been telling y'all, I'm going to keep it straight up 100 with y'all. I haven't wanted to go to my other job where I leave the house and have to go there. I'm so nervous to go into the Walgreens because that's where everybody gets their medications from, and they could be spreading coronavirus everywhere. And then you guys know my husband is the store manager of a large grocery store chain here. And so he's in contact with people all day long, and they have to wear masks on their face all day. And it's just I am just so nervous. I don't want my son to get sick, But Brandon, you better be here, Artful Dodger. I'm taking names today. I'm taking names. Who's not been here? I'm just giving y'all hell. I do notice when y'all don't show up for a while, though, because I read those names and comments. Y'all are my people. Y'all are my people. Look at me, Freya. Freya's getting down. She's like, no 13th stepping in this meeting. I saw you. Y'all think I don't pay attention to your comments, but I'm watching y'all in there while I'm listening at the same time. I love everybody. Y'all are doing such an amazing job welcoming people that are new to the chat. I am so proud of everybody. Thank you so much for helping me do that, for real. It makes a difference, you guys, when you come in and everybody's like, hey, welcome to the Real Talk Recovery. Welcome to come on in, have a seat. It really helps out a lot, look who it is. It's Mr. Corrales. I'm so happy to see you in here, man. I was waiting for you to comment because I thought, he's not showing up. I'm going to have to put his name on the attendance chart because he's going to get detention for not coming to the meeting. I'm so glad you came, Green-Eyed Cat. I missed you too, hun. I am glad you came. You better be here. You better be here. I made you a moderator. You know why? Because I'm keeping an eye on you, fool. I want to make sure that, listen, you guys, it's serious, though. Serious. This is This is your channel. This is our family, okay? This is where we all come. Love you, Fred. Thanks for coming in. Y'all go subscribe to Tales from the Pen. He's got a really good channel, and he talks about amazing life experiences, and he's just such a inspirational man. Cam, I'm gonna text you after this. That's right, cleaning erasers, damn it. You're going to go and listen to this. Let me tell y'all a story before we go. When my dad was a kid, he went to a Catholic school. And y'all know my dad grew up in New York. And so at the Catholic school, the nuns there used to be really mean. And my dad would tell us stories about how when they would get in trouble, they would make the kids sit inside a trash can with a dunce cap on, the word dunce on top of it, inside of the trash can. Can you imagine if they did that nowadays in school? The school would be sued. They'd call DHS or Child Protective Services on them. So tomorrow night, let me tell y'all what we got going on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, I'm pretty sure it's Big Matt and Viking Fitness. I think they're going to come on together. They both have YouTube channels, and they've both been to prison, and they're both in recovery. So that will start out our series with all the guys that'll be coming on. So, and then on Friday, hold on, let me see. Okay, so Thursday is Joe. Excuse me. Joe is Thursday, which is one of our Real Talk Recovery family members. And then Friday is Big Matt Fitness. And then Saturday is Prison POV, aka Splinter. And then Sunday is Heath and Brittany. So, I gotta make it 4 more days. I'm just playing. I hope you enjoyed this evening's live stream. I am going to go take a shower and just relax and watch some TV. If any of you guys need to get a hold of me, you could text that phone number right there. I'm going to be on the phone and phone calls and texts and all that stuff. So if you need to talk, just text me there. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night here at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? All right. Love you guys. Good night. Mm-hmm. This takes forever for me to get. I don't know what. Don't look at me crazy, y'all. I'm trying to end this broadcast. Look at. I'm freezing up.